I'm not even doing any specific good play. Just I'm applying pressure, then they come to you, they make a mistake, and you punish it. It's like you wait on mistakes. It's not that you're playing like a crazy god or something. It's about you applying those concepts, and then results come. You wanna play heavily on deny creeps until you get your timings, and then you can be left alone. You don't need the support after a few levels. You can just own almost every offlaner alone because you have such a high damage from your shift, and you want to be constantly shifting this in between. Like you want to be shifting max agi when you deny creeps and so on. And when they go, you go back to strength. That's why Bass is so good on this hero. Your skill build on the lane should be at level 3. You need to have 0, 1 and 2. You need to have this adaptive strike, because right now level 1 adaptive strike is only 50 mana. You can legit spam it to get a range last hit, you can spam it to support, you can spam it on offlane. Every time you have it off cooldown, you can legit use it right now, and that's why Bassi also has extra value, because of that spell costs only 50 mana. It's just so good right now. Then you can max out the waveform. You don't really need your root. Early on you just want to get to that max waveform, and then you get the talent waveform again. Then the next talent is 15 agi, which is so good. Level 20, I personally prefer the 20 strength because it's just endless amount of stats, and when you combine it with Dragonlance Manta, Skadi, you're just like 3k HP or something, and you deal with like 300 damage. It's just insane. One of the most annoying carries, mana burn carries. Morph doesn't really want to play against. PL, AM, those are like the top 2 annoying heroes that you don't really have an edge on in most of the games. Next on the list is AA, because you can't really phase shift this. Another that potentially annoying hero could be like a Void, but it's not really that big of a problem if you get a good lane. ET has always been like an annoying hero to deal with, and you have the rest of the squad like Rastas and Lions, but you don't really care because you just do too well on the lane right now, and they can't deal with the fast tempo. So even if they have some disables, it doesn't really matter. You get too big too fast, and there is no counterplay to that. Morphling likes to play with heroes like tanky 5s who like to soak damage or heal you instead, like Abaddon is really good, ET, Clockwork, Witch Doctor is potentially good because he heals you and you push the lane together. Undying is decent, and in general heroes who like to go in and soak damage for you. Tusker is one of them. Barotroom can be good as well in the right game. Heroes that Morphling is really good against, those are like low pressure offlane heroes, and heroes who can't really last hit because they have low damage. So I would say Darkseer is one of those heroes. Magnus is kinda bad against Morph on the lane. Bristow doesn't really have reach to you, he can't really get to you at any point of the game. In general, Morphling has such a fast timing that in most of the games he one-shot carries with the E-Blade timing. Let's say you're playing against a PA, a Void, even a Jug, you just one-shot after you get the E-Blade. Plus you have a very strong lane and you can speed up the game. That's why it's one of the best heroes right now. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about how to use the Morph spells to its full potential. Other than the lane where you spam Adaptive Strike almost on cooldown when it's level 1 to get last hits and potentially to harass offlaners. And supports, it doesn't matter, just harass heroes. You don't really use waveform on the lane, just like an escape mechanism. But once you get more levels and once you start breaking the laning stage, there is a few cute tools that you can use. Imagine you're pushing an enemy like the offlane wave, and then this wave comes and you click a few creeps and you get them low, and then you waveform on the exit. This way you minimize the chance of you getting caught and you just push the wave faster, and it should be just on the exit when you do the waveform back, so you're faster to a safe territory. You can use your spells while you're in the waveform. Let's say you buy any blade and you want to kill a support with as little as possible risk of you, like if this support like hexing you, for example, you're playing against Rasta, what you can do is you can waveform towards the Rasta and then you use the E-Blade when you're like around halfway through. You can just E-Blade this guy and hit him with a waveform, and this way he dies without having a chance to hit you back. And I'm gonna show you how. You just waveform and you use the E-Blade inside the waveform. This way the supports have no reaction time and you just one-shot them and they're like, what just happened? Kind of. This is like a really cool concept. You can use it as well as like, imagine you're being chased and this guy is chasing you. let's say this guy's chasing you and you want to run away, you can also do it when you're exiting, when you're going back, you can use it like backwards. Imagine you wait for back, but you still use it. This way you can escape and still kill the support who's chasing you. So I should like this. You still get the waveform out, but you also shot him in the face, and it's pretty cool. Another spell that you have as Morphling is that in some of these fights, let's say you wanna kite like a bristle, and you can just walk in the fight with max strength. Once you walk in this fight and you wanna kite this guy, what you can do is just you stun this guy and then you run away, try to reset. Or like let's say you guys are chasing a void and your team is trying to catch up with you, but you're faster and you wanna kill this void. Then what you can do is just walk in before him, then you jump and you stun him, and then this way your team can catch him up, and then you can reset back to full AG and kill him back. Which is something you can apply not just to killing void, but just in general concept. Heroes you want more backup to kill, and you're the guy who's gonna be the catch. You know, Morph becomes like a catch, not just a hero who one-shots people. This is like a really cool thing, and you can also, you know, put them out of position. Let's say this Bristow guy is pushing a tower and he's like coming to you, trying to hit this tower. And then your team is behind you. What you can do is you just wait for him in and you push him back. This way he's zoned from the enemy team and then he's in your hands, which is like a cool thing as well that can be abused if the enemy guy is sleeping or something. How I usually shift this is the more threatened I feel on the map and the more threatened I feel from enemies, I would like to stay just in case on 2.k HP. I still have like 170 damage, you know, it doesn't affect my last hitting, but it just makes me feel safer because I know that these guys are missing. There is a chance I might get one-shotted as well. And like the moment I see someone and the moment I'm really confident to fighting, that's when I go into full AG. And if I want to go in the fight, I'm gonna try to use E-Blade first and then go back with full strength in the fight. This way you minimize the chances of you getting caught by like some random spell and just dying out of nowhere. Morphling ults is specifically good if you're playing against heroes like a Razor or a Lifestealer or even a Darkseer. You can get the vacuum and run away. You always have this extra potential, especially good against Void. That's why maybe Void and Morph are kinda evened out, because right now the Void second spell is really annoying, the time dilation, and once you get it with Morphling, you just jump in and you're mega annoying, then you jump out with the waveform. It's a really cool tip that you can use, but most of the times you want to use this spell as an offense. You don't really want to use it defensively. In just very rare cases where like you're being chased and there is a Lifestealer, you just become Lifestealer, get the rage and TP out. In this game I am playing Morphling and I'm dying against Void Spirit Darkseer, and I just know that these guys, they're gonna rely heavily on the first two waves. They wanna try and abuse the Morph inability to deal with waves and maybe try and get as much as possible origin away from me. This is why I bought Salve. I would rather be sure that I have this extra Salve that I can rely on. Even if they triple Iron Shell the wave, I'll still be okay, because I know that they're gonna try and do this. This is just a specific matchup. Usually I would say you don't even need the Salve, but this is just a bit more, you know, my preference to be extra sure. So once the position 4 takes away my wave, I need to connect behind tower and I need to play 1v1 potentially with a Darkseer. But in this game the support does a really good job at zoning this guy, so I'm just gonna get a free wave, which is really good for me. And another note that's good about you selecting items is that in this game I decided to buy Bassi first, because my position 5 can also abuse this extra mana regen. You know, he's undying, he's gonna spam the whole lane. Let's say tomorrow you're playing with another hero who's gonna spam spells, you can just buy it Bassi first to benefit, two heroes benefit from this. It's like extra value. Another cute thing that I did is that after I denied the whole wave, I'm gonna get the smoke camp and pull a range creep, and then I extra got from them. This is not gonna happen a lot, but you know, if you see an open camp, you can just abuse this, and then I extra got. It's super nice. 0, 1, 2 skill build at the start, because you don't really need the waveform. It's too much mana and you're not gonna use it anyway, and it's gonna put you in a bad spot if anything. Adaptive strike spell, 1 casual point, is just so much value into it. This is what I've been talking about a bit. Like I can just waveform and adaptive strike, and that's enough. I can just go back to farming. I missed one creep, but I decided that even if I miss this one CS, I would rather take a salve away from the offlane guy and apply extra pressure, and then I can go back to farming, because now I'm level 4, I have Bassi, I don't have mana issues, I can just spam spells So another cool move that you can do once you feel like you have all the freedom in the world in this lane is that you can easily go to the enemy ancients and you take their farm away. In this case it was triple stacked, so it's like kinda hard for me to still clear it, but in the next game you play, it could just be a single camp and you're just gonna clear it and back to the lane. This way you're gonna have so much efficiency. Just this was a bit unlucky that I have triple camp and I can't really clear it, but at least I still forced him to be around. And they TP the Spectre to come and farm it, because they felt the pressure from this move itself. Now if you look at it, it's still 11 minutes and I don't want to move. I just like my lane. When I'm morphling, I don't want to go anywhere. This is the place I want to be, just chill, farm. If nobody wants to touch me, then it's okay, I'm just gonna be here. Then we get this tier 1 tower. This is like, I don't know if we're gonna get it, but this is a huge force of TP. We force their best hero to be on the weak lane, which is really big. This is my goal, to be honest. And now after I force the BB, it's like the tanky hero concept. If it's a Timber, a BB, once they TP, you don't really have anything else to do there but just move away from the opposite side of the map, and then easy life, you know. They can't really run away from top to bot. It's just so much wasting time if they do that. Side lane concept of pressure until somebody comes. I'm just gonna hit and hit until they react to this. Then this is just by you putting side lane pressure and applying these simple rules, these openings and these kills, they're gonna come to you if you're just patient. So it's not, I'm not even doing any specific good play. It's just I'm applying pressure, then they come to you, they make a mistake and you punish it. It's like you wait on mistakes. It's not that you're playing like a crazy god or something. It's about you applying those concepts and then results come on itself. Basically how I play Morphling, and not just Morph but other heroes concept as well, is that I play a bit the cat and mouse game, and you know, I want to force these heavy rotations from the enemies and then I can abuse the other side of the map until the moment I feel like okay, now it's my time, you know. Usually for Morph is the Manta Scuddy or the Manta E-Blade, and then you're like okay, now I want to force Roche fight because I'm that strong and now it's my time to shine and I don't need to engage in these stupid fights, in these random fights. There is no need for any of that. If you just play a simple game, you're gonna have good results, and like you don't need to be like a flashy player. You don't need to make some crazy plays in order to win the Dota. I feel like Dota is a simple game if you break it to small details and you focus on them and you don't forget about them. And I think a lot of the times why people look confused in games and why they start dying and they start losing games is because they break this concept a lot of the times, and they start thinking that oh, we're losing, I need to do a lot more now, I need to kill someone right now or we're gonna lose, and I think this is a bad mindset. You should never feel pressured if you're losing or even winning to do stuff. Like you need to do the lane pressure, do the core of the things first, do the basics, and then the rest is gonna come natural, and you don't need to think and you don't need to be some Einstein guy to perform and to do these things. And once you get to that point, Manta Scuddy or a Manta E-Blade, and you can look into Roche, because a lot of the times they wouldn't want to fight you in the Roche. Or let's say you're creating this silent pressure that I've been talking about. Let's say you push bot and you force 2 TPs, it's when you go straight to Roche, and after you get this Roche you have the freedom to easily poke high ground, and this way they're gonna make even more mistakes and the game seems pretty much secured. And this is like such a high speed hero, and that's why I think Morphling is really good, and you should not give him a free lane. Another cool part about Morphling right now is that even if you feel a bit insecure or if you like the morph, the replicate is a bit complicated for you to use, you're not sure how exactly it happens, you shouldn't feel stressed about this, because this is like such a small part of Morphling gameplay and you don't even need to be good at it. Maybe eventually after you keep spamming Morph you're gonna get better at it, but at the start you don't need it to win games, you don't need it to win pubs, so don't be discouraged from picking it if you feel unsure using this spell.